Good morning. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Larry. Glad to have you. I'm filming today from southwestern Ohio on this rainy, cool day. I took some of my own advice. I was going to do this video inside, and I thought, well, I'm going to get outside. Won't be long, but I'm going to get outside for at least a short period of time. Leave in the comments. Leave in the comments about some toxic habits that you should avoid. And that's what we're going to talk about. What toxic habits should you avoid in retirement? Now, toxic's probably too strong a word for it. At least, at least they should be bad habits. Bad habits. I've got a few of these. I'm still working on, but some things you should avoid. Uh, One of them is we talk to ourselves all the time. There are two types of people: those who talk to themselves, and those who say they never talk to themselves. But and they're liars. But we talk to ourselves all the time, at least in our own head, even if not out loud. Although I have been known to do that at Home Depot once in a while when I'm looking for something, I'll talk to myself. But that's all right. But you don't want to be negative about it. You just don't want to be negative about it. We can talk ourselves into just about anything, good or bad. Uh, how many times have you heard somebody? You ask somebody how they're doing, they say, "Oh, I'm tired," and you can ask that same person that some other time, and they're going to say, "Oh, I'm tired." That's negative. And guess what? They're going to be tired at the end of the day. My wife is a prime example of the opposite of that. Now, my wife's kind of an insomniac. She's got sleep disorders. She's on zero meds, and she's 72 years old. But she doesn't. Her issue is she doesn't sleep. Now, I can make it on 4 or 5 hours sleep a night. I can for one night, maybe two, and then I'm done. I'm done. She does it probably 3 out of 4 nights. She'll get 4 or 5 hours sleep, and she has such a good attitude about it. And then every once in a while, last night was one of them. She got like 7.5 hours, something like that. She has such a good attitude, but it's all self-talk. If you walk around all day telling yourself you're tired, or you're grumpy, or you're this or you're that, guess what? That's what you're going to be. So let's keep it on the positive side. A lot of times, especially in retirement, as we get older, we have a tendency to live in the past. And I've given this one a lot of thought over the few months I've been doing this, and I think that is because we mourn the person we used to be. We're in mourning over that person. That person is never coming back. But a lot of people do live in the past. I have a friend. I see him every Sunday at church, and he's exactly my age. And I mean, he showed me a picture this Sunday. He's on some history thing here in our town, and sports history thing, and he was showing me a picture of me from like 50 plus years ago, and I'm like, yeah, that's me, but I'm not that person anymore. He constantly wants to live in the past. I just don't think that's healthy. I don't think that's a healthy way to go through life. Another thing, it's easy to get in the habit of is complaining all the time. Oh, the prices are too high, gas is too high, this and that. You can complain, you can find, all you gotta do is turn on the news, you can find a lot of things to complain about. You know what? People don't want to be around you if you're complaining about all the time. I'm sure we all have people like that in our lives. I'll avoid certain people because if I ask them how they're doing, they'll complain. They'll complain. Now, if a good friend asks me how I'm doing and I'm doing terrible, I will chat with him for a minute or her for a minute, just because I know we can be honest with each other. But another thing we do is a lot of people have a tendency to play the victim. The victim, always blaming somebody else for their situation. Always, always. There's no personal accountability anymore. I don't think it's being taught. I don't think it's being taught in school. I don't think it's being taught at home. We are personally accountable for our actions. Don't play the victim. Here's one that I have overcome: overspending on impulse. Yeah, I used to be bad at that when we had some cash coming in over the years. Not big purchases, but overspending on impulse. And I did a video not too long ago about things retirees regret buying, and that would include a lot of those things. But I think the biggest thing I ever spent on impulse was I bought a bicycle one time. This has been probably 20 years ago. I already had a nice bike. It wasn't a road bike. It's kind of a hybrid road off trail with smooth tires. And I got this wild hair one day, and I thought I was going to do some more road biking. And I just read this book about this guy traveling. So I went and bought me a bike. It was $1,500. My wife didn't get upset. We could afford it at the time. Wasn't that big a deal. Well, now that bike, it went from me to one of my sons to another one of my sons, and I think it's sitting in his garage right now. But that was an impulse buy. We can't impulse buy in retirement. We got to think about these things. Uh, Another thing, it's a habit. We refuse to downsize. Even downsizing in place is so liberating. We don't have to get a smaller home. Let's just make ours as easy to maintain, clutter-free as possible. There are some YouTube channels I won't watch because they are in some area of their house or apartment, and it's just, and I'd really like to listen to what they have to say, but this is my problem. This isn't everybody's problem. But they are surrounded with stuff and knickknacks and trinkets, and I can't focus on it. But this is my problem. A lot of people just refuse to downsize. Their kids will be taking care of all this stuff one of these days, and I'm not going to let that happen to my kids. Here's a big one: refusing to exercise. And a lot of people are like that. You got to keep moving, guys. You got to keep moving. Most of my peers that I know, they've already given up. They're just waiting for somebody to tell them that they're already dead, and they're not. They're up walking around. I had lunch. I was invited to lunch. This is something I don't do on a regular basis. I was invited to lunch a couple of weeks ago with some friends. I knew 2 out of 3 people there and met a new friend. And one guy was just questioning me about what exactly do I do for exercise and what do I eat and this and that. Now, this guy's sitting there. He's an avid golfer. He's sitting there. He's probably, I'll be nice, 30, 35 pounds overweight. He said, yeah, I know I should do it, but I just can't get motivated. I didn't say anything. I said, well, that's up to you. You're people of choice. You're a person of choice. You can do whatever you want to do. But I'm thinking in another year or two, he's not going to be able to do the thing he loves and do the best, and that's play golf. He's just not going to be able to. This is one I'm sometimes guilty of, men especially, I have to say, and that's ignoring your body's check engine light. Now, nobody, no doctor, no spouse, no partner knows our own body like we know our own body. We know when something's wrong. And a lot of times, especially men, we're guilty of it, probably more so than women. We just ignore it. Go to the doctor before it gets bad. For example, I went to the optometrist about 2 or 3 months ago. I got new glasses, as everybody can see, got new glasses. And you know what? It didn't help. He said, well, you're about due for some cataract removal and blah, blah, blah. So and this went on for about a month, and I said, no, I'm going. So I got an appointment tomorrow. They're going to take a look at my cataracts. 2 hours of tests to see if I'm eligible for it. And I think I am. This is one I'm very guilty of, and that's irregular sleep habits. You always hear you should go to bed every day at the same time, get up at the same time. Well, I don't. I don't. I'm getting better, but I'll tell you what, sometimes that couch just calls my name in the afternoon, and I hit the couch, and a half hour, 45 minutes nap is not that big a deal. But if it turns into an hour and a half, yeah, it totally messes up my sleep patterns. But I'm trying to get better. And I think the one thing, one habit we're all guilty of, with the complaining and all like that, we don't have an attitude of gratitude. If you have clothes to wear and another change of clothes to change into, if you have a roof over your head, if you know where your next meal is coming from, and if you have clean water, you're ahead of 90% of the world's population. Something to think about. We should be thankful and grateful for what we have. Well, that's all I got to do today. I just wanted to get outside for a few minutes, kind of taking some of my own advice and just get outside, even if it's just a few minutes. It's just very, to me, in the rain next to the river, you can't get more calming than that. But anyway, that's all I've got for now. Get anything out of this, like, share, subscribe. Until we meet again, I'm going to continue to press on towards that goal.